We're live.
All right. Hello, everybody. Brandon and Sarah here. And
we're from theharmoniousstore.com. You can't forget to tell them.
No, I was going to say, no, they know. We know. We're about to blast it. We are from theharmoniousstore.com, and we are just happy to be in front of you today. We have a lot of information we're going to share with you. And anybody who was on the last hangout for us, we kind of ran over a little bit. So we're going to make,
because you guys got tons of value.
You did, but we're going to make sure that this one is more on time. So we just wanted to say thanks for joining us today for this lovely hangout. And we imagine that everybody here right now is interested in how to make more money in their business. And why is it that talking to the right people is actually going to bring you more money? And that might sound a little apparent. You might look at me and go, well, Brandon, that's exactly duh. But it's a lot harder for new people in the business to actually target those who are interested in their product or service. And that's something that we came across, and we had actually been struggling with it for a long time until we came across some few things. Now, this actually became clear for us a while ago, but what? Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I don't think it's actually difficult even for new people coming into building their business, like regardless of the kind. I think what it boils down to is the fact that we just overcomplicate it. Like, that's what it is. It's not that it's difficult to do. It's not that it's hard. It's that we just overcomplicate the daylights out of it. And that's exactly where we were for, especially like the first few months when we first got started, because, we had no experience. We didn't know what we were doing. Like, we were brand spanking new. And so when like our leaders were telling us, hey, okay, here's what you got to do. You got to do this, this, and this to set up your business for success.
One of
them was, target your audience, like focus in on your avatar. And we're like, what the hell is that?
Exactly.
I have no idea what you just said.
Like, we just saw the movie a couple years ago. I don't, Avatar.
Are you talking about
what are you talking about?
Like, I have no, and it's crazy because we went through a training. Me personally, I went through a training where they broke down like how to do this, like explained what an avatar target audience is. I think I watched it maybe like 6 times, and I was still looking at Brandon saying, I have no idea what they're saying. Like,
I honestly didn't either, because they would ask, what is your perfect, like one of the questions, well, we don't want to ruin anything right now, but before we get into the meat and potatoes, anybody who's new to these hangouts, allow us just to share a little bit about our story so that you can get comfortable hearing about where we've been, and so that this information is sincere and that we actually come from a place that we want to see you succeed. A lot of the new people that we coach, that we mentor, that come into our business, they wish that they had maybe a hands-on kind of mentor or sponsor. I know that there were some times in our beginning stages where we kind of missed out on that kind of advantage. And so that's why we're here for everybody right now who's new to this business, that maybe isn't getting the guidance that they would like, or maybe looking for it from another light. Because me and Sarah bring another light to the subject. Okay, now we have fun with what we do. We love what we do. And we love helping other people get to that next level. So today, what you're going to learn is exactly that in your business, is how to take your business to the next level through specific targeting. And like I mentioned a little bit about our backstory, when we first got into this business, which was about 18, 19 months ago, we had no clue about what we were doing. We both came from struggling backgrounds of restaurant workers and servers who would combined make a total of about $50 a day. And so that is painful. I actually met her when I was living at home with my mother. She decided to take a leap of faith with me and just recognize me for the man that I am today and not who I was back then. And she really said, I'm going to take that leap of faith, because she moved me when I was living with my mom. So anybody out there watching this knows that if you have a woman who's ready to do that for you, she is a keeper. Just to let you know that. And
I don't want to let that one go.
No, you definitely don't. You definitely don't. And so at that moment when I met her, I realized that I had to do things a little bit different. And so at that point in my life, I had already realized that I wasn't happy clocking in for other people. And I had my real estate license at the age of 20, but I didn't really make any success with it. So I always had that entrepreneurial spirit, but never made anything happen. A lot of things led to me not being successful in a lot of different endeavors, but we'll get into that later. When I met her, I realized that something had to change. So we ended up basically saying, you know what, screw the job thing. You could be a stay-at-home mother. I'm going to go and play poker full time, and we're going to make this thing work. Well, that worked for very nice for a little bit, right?
Yeah, before we actually got pregnant with our daughter Savannah, his poker playing was nice. It was cushy.
So we were making.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I mean, yes, there were times where like the payoffs, right, were like varied in how often they came, but it was kind of supplemented because the fact he'd come home sometimes with like $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, and we're like, yes,
yeah, and you feel like
we're going out for steak.
You feel like you're on cloud nine when that happens. And we were doing that for about I was doing that for about more than 2 years, but 2 years for the first time that we met her. Yeah. And then she got pregnant. So
and then I broke the news. I was like, hey, guess what? I have a surprise for you.
Yeah, so we were actually in the middle of having our first daughter and our first child, and which is our daughter, Savannah. And that kind of messed up my game a little bit. So I ended up losing a lot of my focus, okay? Because now I had a baby girl at home. I had a pregnant wife. I was determined to make money from home. I was determined to go ahead and say, okay, well, you know what? I've made nice money from playing cards. I know that I could do this. If it's ever a fallback plan, I know I'm never going to go back to filling out an application again because that's disgusting. And I always like to be in charge of my time. So I knew that wasn't going to happen. But making money from home, I never knew was possible. You would see the signs. Honestly, the only thing that I ever had as a thing in front of me to let me know that was even possible was those signs, like when you're driving down the freeway, and it would be like written in marker, and it would say, like, make money online, $45,000 a month,
guaranteed.
Looking for apprentices to work from home or something like that. Those are the only kind of signs that I was, accustomed to seeing. So when I heard about this opportunity, I was thinking in my head, like, there's no way this could be real because that's what I'm used to seeing. I'm used to saying, okay, work from home is equated to a styrofoam sign,
completely illegitimate,
and so it just boggled my mind. I had to take my own leap of faith the way that she did with me, and so I had to take that leap of faith into going and saying, well, you know what, this could possibly work. So when me and my buddy were talking about it, it actually took him about 7 months before I was convinced enough to even give it a try. Before I was convinced enough to say, you know what, I'll go ahead and give it a try.
Yeah, and it pretty much only happened whenever I came across the information that was relayed to him.
Because I was making money poker,
and I was the one asking him, like, what is this and how do we get this? Because on the note, it was just like a notebook. It was just like a piece of paper, and there was like a whole bunch of little.
It was like ripped in half.
Really poorly drawn scribbles, and I couldn't understand where everything was going. The only thing that made sense to me was this big box that had like over $8,000 in it with like circles all over it. Like, yes, $8,000. And I remember I asked him about that, and I was like, what is this? And how do we get this? Because $8,000 a week would be nice. And that's when he relayed what his friend had just told him. And we went through the process of, talking about it with each other, because of course we're partners and
not knowing anything about what we're
still
talking
not
about.
even understanding what he was telling me. In fact, it was to the point where I'm like, okay, well, I get that you're excited, and I get that obviously this is a good thing, but I have no idea what you're saying. Can we call your friend's girlfriend who, to come over and explain it to me? And so we did. We had to have his friend's girlfriend, who was like the main contributor to their business at the time, had to have her come over and, kind of break it down for me in a way that I understood for us to move forward. But I mean, to be completely honest, even after she left, I was like, yeah, okay. I still don't really understand what's going on. I just know that if it works for them, it's gonna work for us. So let's just do it. Let's just go do it.
Yeah, because we looked at them and they had the same kind of drive. They were very passionate about making money from home and doing things in a different, like, unconventional kind of way. And he had taught me a lot about business offline. And so I figured, you know what, I'm gonna listen to him. It took him 7 months to dig through to me. And then finally it took my fiance to say,
7 months.
Let's go for it. And so when we did, it brought us to a point right now where we're in front of you, and it's allowed us to, in these past few months, enjoy life in a whole nother kind of way. And it allows us to be at home. Our daughter's actually downstairs right now. She's on the computer. She's doing her thing, and we get to be up here helping people break through to another level of success in their business. And so that's why we're in front of you today, is to help you with at least one step of that. And so through specific targeting to your exact market, that's going to get you to make more money and break through to that next level. Now, a few questions that we're going to get into. So pull out your pen, pull out your pencil. Sarah and I are about to give you
We're going to give you guys like a basic framework to build off of, because we realize that this issue it seems so small, right? But at the same time, it seems so large because we overcomplicate it. And in that process, we don't really realize the negative consequences that happen from not going through this framework process of defining your target market. Because what ends up happening is you waste all your valuable time, which is the only resource you can never get more of, right? Because you're spending all your time chasing after people who want nothing to do with you. And then you're also wasting all of your advertising budget, which is huge, because if you're working on a shoestring budget, because maybe you're brand new to your business and you invested everything you had into just getting it started, right? Like we did. Then, it's really important that you're able to salvage your advertising dollars, because that's that beginning stage. It's very precious to you to be able to get your message out there to the marketplace. So we're going to give you guys a couple of things. We're going to show you an example, because we feel like that would be really helpful for you, to show you an example of what it looks like when you're targeting the wrong audience, right? Because most likely you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, I don't have this issue. I just wanted to know what you guys have to say. When really, when we walk you through the exercise, you'll realize, oh shit, like that's exactly what I do every day.
It is.
And then after we show you what it looks like when you're targeting the wrong audience, we're going to pull it back and give you that framework, have you ask yourself a couple of questions that can put you in the right mindset to zeroing in on the people you should be focusing on in the first place. So we can help you give yourself more of that time and allow you to stop wasting so much of your money. So
which
I think that sounds like a plus.
Me excited, because I know that we wasted a lot of money when we were talking to the wrong people. Whenever somebody would ask me when we first started, who's your target market? We thought, we had nervous. We would break into sweats because we had no clue. We would think, okay, well, is it parents? Is it parents? Well, that's a pretty broad subject if you think about it.
Yeah.
Is it homeschooling parents?
Yeah. There was one time where I remember, like, when we first got started, someone asked us, like, okay, well, what's your target audience? And we're like, oh, families that want freedom.
Right.
And we were like so proud of that answer, and they looked at us like, oh God, you poor things.
Yeah,
like you have no
so
idea
lost.
what you're doing.
And that's what a lot of folks go through, because the reason why many people get into this industry is to get and obtain that freedom that maybe they've never experienced before, or maybe they've been seeing from other people and they know it's just possible. But it just gets to a point to where you've got to be able to understand, or I forgot where I was going with that point. People.
I think you're trying to like basically just highlight if you're trying to target everyone, you're really targeting no one. Exactly.
And that's one thing that we learned from a very high-end the guy in our industry who said that same exact thing. And I'm sure that you folks have heard that before, when you've heard, if you're trying to sell to everybody, target, sell, same thing. If you're trying to sell to everybody, you end up selling to nobody. And if I would have known that when I was in real estate, I'd probably still be in real estate, because the same kind of thing like we were going through, we weren't specific enough with our target market. That's what I was going to end up getting to, is that whenever they asked us that about the family freedom, who are we trying to target in that? That's not specific. And then when we would try and get specific, it would make us feel bad because we felt that we were leaving people out.
Yeah.
And all we have to do is come up with new ways to talk to specific crowds. So you don't have to leave people out. You just have to talk to them in the way that they are used to being talked to. It's almost like in their native language.
Yeah.
So if you have a group of people over here that are interested in sports, you do not have to leave them out just because they might not hear the message about how you're directing business people in a business message. But what they can hear is a nice bridge between the two, and you can still get your business message out to a group of sports fans in a way that they would actually hear it. Now you're speaking their language.
Yeah, you start going up to those sports people talking about how, just last weekend while I was at, the last home game, it was really cool because I looked down at my phone and I realized that I just made X amount of money because I was talking about the Cowboys on the internet on my blog.
That's a lot more. That's a lot more powerful than you talking to that same group saying, "I just generated 10,000 visitors to my blog and created 6 upsells through a funnel that I created about 3 months ago." They look at you and go, "What the heck are you talking about?" You know what I mean?
Give me another beer.
Exactly, and that's what we're talking about. There's no reason to leave anybody out with this. But there's a way to target specific people with a specific message that's going to get them to do a specific task that is going to benefit your business and their situation. Mm-hmm. That's what we call a win-win.
Yep. So we're going to give you guys a little exercise, right? To show you guys what it looks like when you're talking to the wrong people. I do. This is fun. Okay. So basically, like I'm going to basically pretend to be a steak salesman. I don't know, like the official term for the whatever, but I sell steak. That's my living. Okay. And so what I'm doing is I'm walking around, right? And I see everybody walking around, and there's that person over there. There's that person over there. Business. There's this person over here, this handsome man with blonde hair and blue eyes. And so what I want to do is I think to myself, he looks like a good candidate. He looks like a meat eater. I want to go sell him some steak. So I'm going to walk up to him and I'm going to say, hey, I'm not even going to ask him his name or how he's doing, right? Like, hey, I'm Sarah. So I have this awesome steak product, right? It's grade A Wagyu beef. It's amazing. It's shipped from overseas. It's top of the line quality, right? We feed the cows grass, they're grass fed. They only have access to like spring natural water. The cows are taken great care of. It's great quality beef. Oh, let me tell you like all these awesome recipes that I can help you with using your steak and what you can do with it. You can make it in salads. You can make it in entrees. You can, make a steak dessert if you want because you love steak. I have steak. Do you want some steak?
I'm a vegan.
Oh.
See, that's tough, right?
No. So okay. So, okay. You can add vegetables, right? Because steak goes great with vegetables. You can add kale.
You see how annoying this could be, people? You see how annoying?
You can add potatoes. You know what I mean? And usually two things happen. You either do what I just did, which is go on and on and try to convert this poor vegan to eat meat, which is like against his beliefs.
That's only if the person's nice.
Yeah.
Not nicer than I am.
Or usually scenario number two, which would be him saying I'm a vegan. And if I continue trying to persuade him, that's usually when he'll be like, get out of my face.
Virtually. Because typically these conversations don't happen face to face. What she's getting at right now is a simple conversation that you're going to have either online or anything like that. When people do certain things that are spamming and just sending out generic ways of advertising and marketing their brand, this is what they're doing.
That's basically what you.
This is exactly what they're doing. And if your heart started racing when she did what she was doing, like how mine did, that's the exact same thing that you put on your prospects.
Which is why no one.
That's the exact same thing. Because I'm telling you right now, I wanted to I'm like, man, I love this one, but I'm about to just lose it on her. And there's so many folks out there that are working in their business the exact same way. And it's powerful when you have somebody who maybe isn't close to you, like how me and her aren't. We love you, we want to see you succeed, but we're not your mother. We're not your friend right now, like as far as what maybe you're used to.
Yeah.
So we're not going to tell you what you want to hear.
I'll be a little bit nicer about how I frame it to you, right? Because that's just the Southern girl in me. But this guy, he will like not sugarcoat it to save your life. Like,
well, I think that I've
give
done
it
a
to
lot
you
of
straight up, no chaser.
Well, I think that we do a lot of justice to people by telling them exactly what they need to hear versus what they want to hear. We're not here to coach people into daisies and fairies and stuff like that. We're here to make money. We're here to create a business and leave a legacy for our family. So yes, she's right. I will tell you how it is, and there's no reason to beat around the bush. But when you get to badgering people the way that she did, for lack of a better word, it gets you to where you look amateurish.
Yeah.
You look like you aren't in tune or in touch with your people. You know what I mean? And when you actually lose that touch, that sense of reality, it's hard to get it back immediately. It'll take some time to regain that trust from those people because they're going to look at you as you just want their money. Yeah. You don't care about their problems. You don't care about their life. You don't care about actually providing a solution. It's like as if you just got your hand on something that you feel you could just get over on somebody with, which in turn is going to give them or get their money out of their wallet.
Yeah. And it's actually very difficult for you to even come back from that because once people like associate you as that person, right? That sales person, that MLM person, that whatever person, like it's so difficult to regain your ability to speak with any kind of authority with them. And that's what happens, whether it's a verbal conversation or it's happening online or on a phone call, like that's what you're doing by not understanding who you should be targeting. So to help you guys out, like to give you guys a little bit of a framework, I hope you guys got your pen and pencil out like Brandon suggested. We have 3 basic questions, right?
Well, and the question first is, if you were asking yourself right now, okay, well, Brandon and Sarah, how do I talk to the right people? Okay, well, we've been through all this stuff. How do I talk to the right people? And that's what we're about to give you the questions to right now. These are the questions that you're going to ask yourself before you put together an ad, before you go ahead and create any kind of thing that you're going to put out into the world.
Yeah, this should realistically be what you should ask yourself the second that you even start your business, which was a mistake that we made by not doing. We took some time to overcomplicate it.
Yeah, exactly. What is your business?
Yeah. So the first question is what problem does my product or service, what does it solve? Right. So
specific.
If it's like one-on-one coaching, like let's say you are a personal trainer. Okay. Think about what problems your potential customer is having that your coaching, your one-on-one coaching would solve for them. And once you have those problems down, like maybe it's the fact that they struggle with dieting, maybe it's the fact that they
or maybe you want to target even more specific, like how we said, get real specific. So maybe you're looking to coach one-on-one with cancer patients who are recouping from chemo.
Yeah.
Maybe that is a very specific niche.
Yeah, and that should be these questions are kind of broad right now just because we don't know your exact business. Right. Of course,
so we have to keep it pretty general.
Yeah, of course, what you would do is you would simply tailor these questions to fit your exact product or service. So these questions we give you right now are just a little bit broad. You have to insert your actual product or service in these questions, and that's going to help you get much more specific with exactly how Brandon was saying. Another question, once you have those problems on what your product or service solves, then you would ask, who has these problems?
Specific again. Be very specific. Don't be afraid to feel like you're excluding people, because like we mentioned, if you try and sell to everybody, you end up selling to nobody. So you will feel like, okay, well, I'm excluding these people, because technically you are. But you, once you become better at marketing and building your business and your brand, are going to get better at getting that same message to that one group that you're specifically targeting to right now, that you built your business around, to actually bridge it over to multiple markets and multiple niches that are actually going to understand where you come from and see the value in it. So then you'll be able to branch out to other things. But right now, it's very important that you just pay very close attention to that one specific group of people that you are going to help right now with your product or service.
Yeah, something that I think might help you with feeling guilty about like excluding people from your business or service, because I know that was something I struggled with for a really long time. And I just heard this from one of our mentors not too long ago, was she was talking about how it's not that you're excluding people, right? Because that has a very negative connotation to the term.
So erase what I just said.
Instead of thinking of it as, okay, well, I have to exclude all of these people who could benefit from my service. Think of it more as you're spending more focus on people who are 100% committed to really applying the information you know that they're looking for. Like these people on the outside, they're just kind of interested. They're dabbling in maybe what you have to offer, but they're not committed to learning what you have to offer.
Well. Yeah,
the people who you're focusing on, right, your target audience, those are the ones who have made it very clear, right, because they're opening your emails, they're coming to your weekly calls, or they're
engaging in all your things on Facebook,
they're calling your business
Twitter,
and asking questions and continuing to make sure that they have access to what you can do for them. You know, that's them letting you know, hey, I want what you have. I want what you have. I just need maybe like one more answer, but that's it. So it's not that you're excluding those people. It's that they need time on their own to come to terms with your value. So instead of having to waste your time focusing on people who aren't really interested, simply focus on the ones who are and then branch out from there.
And that will help you make more money in your business. Yeah. That is actually a true statement, because we've seen it happen in our own business.
Yeah.
And so
the last question, once you have the problems that your product or service addresses, and then who has those problems, now you just ask yourself to bridge from who do you target to marketing to those people, is just asking like, where do they hang out? You know, if it's for one-on-one health coaching, you know, where do these people hang out? Who need your help the most? Chances
like GNC
chances are it's like GNC, because they're looking for vitamins to maybe help kickstart the process.
Gyms.
Maybe it's gym membership inquiries. Maybe it's smoothie places, right?
Yeah.
Where do they hang out? And then also for not just like offline, but online as well. Where are some of the Facebook groups they like to hang out in? Where are some of the Pinterest boards they like to pin on?
Right. It gets pretty crazy when you can think about it outside of the box of the normal. Okay, well, I have to stick with one kind of way of doing things, which I think I mentioned that I had to talk with a buddy, and he's still stuck in his traditional way of doing things. And if you have a company right now that you're in, I'm not dogging anybody right now, but what I am going to share is that if they're going to prevent you from getting in front of people who have everything out right now, ready to purchase or buy from you, but they're going to prevent you from being in front of those people because it might, I don't even know why it might do that, but there's like actual companies right now that are saying you cannot do this or that or this or that because it's going to hinder the integrity of the company. Now, if that is the way that it is, because, you know, we've been around for 75 years.
And this is the way we do things.
This is the way we do things. Well, maybe it's time to look for a new way of doing things. I mean, right now with this strategy of being able to target, retarget, and retarget, all those other things are things that we teach our team specifically for those who decide to run with us. And those are things that have helped many people's businesses get to that next level. So if you are being held back from receiving information, then you just have to ask yourself, why are they doing that? You see what I'm saying? That's why.
Does this current company that I'm associated with, do they really have my best interests at heart, or is it really just their own?
Right.
That's something that we deal with on like a day-to-day basis with people who come to us asking for help because they're like, you know, I really love my company, but they can't
even have a blog. A lot of these people, like some of these people that I deal with, they can't even have a blog. They're like, you know what, I'd love to do what you do, but how would it work for me? I can't have a blog. My company won't let me brand myself.
Yeah, and if your company is telling you that you can't make more money by selling their products, then you should probably rethink the company you're aligned with, because that should be a big red flag for you, because that's your business. The second that they give you resale rights to their products, that's your business.
And so, yeah, sorry to go off on a tangent. And so now that you have all that information, what's their next step?
Well, the next step is basically going like one level deeper, right? So we've got the surface level questions of our target audience. The next thing is, now let's dive a little deeper. We have a little bit of an insight in who we're looking to put our information in front of, but let's go deeper into who these people are. A lot of that has to do with thinking about, like, what are their biggest frustrations, right? If you're a one-on-one personal health coach, what's the biggest frustration of people who come to you for coaching, right? It's because they can't wait no matter what they seem to do. They, for the life of them, are unable to put together a healthy diet plan
or build mass and actually go from 110 to 150.
Exactly. You know? Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe they're thin, right? Like me, a little stick figure, and they have difficulty with keeping muscle mass on their bodies, and they need help. You know, that's a big frustration. Another thing would be like obstacles. What are some obstacles that keep them from being able to achieve the results that they're looking to achieve by going through your product, right? What are some of their fears? Do they fear not wanting to go to a gym for a general membership because people will make fun of them, people will judge them? Is that why they want one-on-one? You know,
be very specific again. I love reiterating this because of the fact that we were not in this area.
No.
So no, go ahead. Yeah.
And then something else that's really helpful, which we learned from this last weekend in Colorado, is really paying attention and focusing in on common interests. So like books, movies,
common bonds,
TV shows, music, audios, like anything that has a common interest or a common theme between you and your potential target audience. Like, write that down. That's really helpful because you can use that to your advantage when you're marketing to them. That can be like the gap that bridges the two of you together.
And the tip for this whole exercise and whole thing to make it easier and to come together is to ask yourself what it is that you love most about what you do. Ask yourself about what you enjoy most, what may be the big obstacles that you've encountered. And those are going to be the same that a lot of your audience is going to go ahead and want to resonate with. So
yeah, that's a good point.
That's very easy. So, I mean, a lot of people, I know when I first heard this, I personally got a little overwhelmed because I was thinking, okay, well,
like, I don't know these people.
I don't know how to do this. I don't even I was never a creative child. I don't understand it. You know, how do I make this stuff happen? I never had imaginary friends. And so this kind of stuff, it becomes easy once you ask what it is that you like. And then just imagine, and you have to believe this, that there's other people out there just like you that love the same things you love, that hate the same things you hate, that go through the same kind of trials and tribulations that you're going through in your business, and that want to hear from exactly you, not from anybody else, but from you. And so it's really big to know that.
Yeah, no, that's actually really helpful because back to the coaching example, there had to have been a time where maybe you weren't at your ideal weight, which is what led you to getting healthier, which is what led you to loving, what you can do to help people to achieve that same result. So think back to when you were in that position where you were at a place you didn't want to be at. Think of the experiences that you were dealing with every day that was an obstacle for you. Think of how you felt on a day-to-day basis that motivated you to want to learn how you can be better. Like that's really good insight to help you dip back into that perspective, to help you realize and understand where the people you're marketing to are going to be at right now in their lives.
Yep. And when you can figure out where people are at right now in their life, that's when you can help them get to where they want to go. And that's one thing that we did not do well either. So we're very transparent here in these hangouts with you guys. And we hope that you understand that we're doing this out of love, that a lot of the things that we're sharing with you, actually everything that we're sharing with you and everything we've shared with you has been through our personal experience, through us making tremendous mistakes. Even though we were getting great advice from people, we were not interpreting it in a way that was beneficial for our success. We still had mental blocks in our head, self-limiting beliefs that were keeping us from going where we needed to go. There was new partnerships that we needed to, us being together. We loved each other from the moment we saw each other, I feel, but we've never been professional partners. Worked together.
So that was a whole new dynamic for us in the first
place. And you got
to
imagine that we had different ideas about where this business wanted to go, who we wanted to talk to, and things like that. And now that we've become more aware of how we can actually spread our message to everybody, how we can spread
everyone
our message,
within our target audience.
Everyone within our target audience in a way that I can attach or I can get through to people that she can't because of who I am with my personality and just gender and everything like that. Same thing with her. She can get through to people on a different level because of who she is. Now, with us, we get to be able to use this target marketing strategy to help build our business and grow exponentially because of now we're getting in front of the people who actually want to hear what she has to say and what I have to say. So it's not like we have to combine a message like how a lot of people are trying to do with other folks and say, well, you know what, we're a collective mind. We're trying to get this one group to do one thing. And it's like, you don't have to do what everybody else is doing. You can separate yourself. You can come up with your own niche. There's so many people out there that are, I was talking with a guy the other day who was, or at one of our last events in Lake Las Vegas, and he had a mic. What is he doing? He does his little like figurines. He has like a figurine model thing. Okay. Like toy figurines that he has a community of, he says.
Oh.
And he builds these
guy.
things, and then he like, like races. He does something. He like takes pictures. He does something. And all these people, there's like 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 500,000 people that are doing this. That's a big enough market to go ahead and to get your information, your product, your service to. And that is, mind you, as something that I have never heard of before that day, and I've never heard of since then.
He had never thought to tap into marketing to people who expressed a same interest that he expressed, which was these little figurine thingamajigs, right? Because he didn't think that it was possible to talk to them because they were outside of his supposed main niche, right? When all you have to do, you can target outside of your main niche based on interest, like, you know, books or movies or toy figurines.
Right.
You just need to bridge with the right language. That's all it's about.
Story.
Yeah, and that's also something that we learned in our recent weekend in Colorado, was really how to use what we're sharing with you right now and how to craft that into an epic story, basically, to where you can really resonate on a personal level with everyone you're marketing to, whether it's online or offline. And it was pretty powerful information.
It was huge. I mean, the guy who was teaching this information actually created a story that generated an ad, or created a story he placed on an ad that he created an ebook about that generated over $40,000 worth of income. And there's no guarantees with any of that. But I'm just saying that what you're able to do when you put a story behind something, it's phenomenal when you put it behind something that is targeted towards people who actually want to hear it. That's the reason why we got into this business, was because we see the potential in what could be done when you just do a little bit of work, okay, and your own efforts behind it, behind your own passion, placed in front of people who also share that same passion, who are willing to listen to you and dive into what you have to say. And then once they start building that trust and relationship with you, it just becomes like, it becomes easier and more simpler to talk to these people, and they become more susceptible. They become easier to open the mind from you.
They become more loyal, long-term, repetitive customers versus like short-term, like one only buyers, people who just like buy that one product and then either refund it or they just never buy from you again.
Because of the story.
Yeah, when you can define your target audience, and then you can tell a story to them in a way that gets them to relate to you, that speaks to like their aspirations, that helps show them that, hey, I'm human, this is where I was, this is where I am, and this is where I'm going. I want to bring you with me, right? Because I know that you have like the similar goals. That's when you can really hit home with these people. And that's when you develop those really committed buyers who will follow you anywhere you go. So even if you're building like an MLM or an affiliate or network internet marketing company right now, like say that's your business, heaven forbid your company shuts down tomorrow. If you were able to apply this with building your story and create that loyal following, then even if your company shuts down tomorrow with like no warning, those people are going to follow you wherever you go.
That's right.
Because they feel really connected to you. They don't want to go buy from anyone else because they know you. They don't know them.
And they know you have the best interest at heart. Exactly. It's been a pretty remarkable experience to see how we've been able to change the way we communicate to our audience and the way that we communicate to our team. We've been able to tap into something that we never knew was powerful. We never knew our story was valuable. We never knew that, okay, well, everything that we've been through could actually help somebody. I mean, we kind of had certain ideas about instances in our life that were dramatic, life-changing, life-altering things that happened to us that you just know people would, it'd have impact on people's life. But I'm getting to the point to where now it's like everything that we do, we can turn that into an inspiring story to help somebody else get through an obstacle in their life. And when you do that and you match that with your product, and your product's actually good or your service is actually benefiting, beneficial, it makes the world around you seem more fulfilling. It gets everybody around you who buys into your product, into your service, to say, this guy's in it for the right reason. I'm going to stick around for the long haul. Mm-hmm. And that's a better feeling than selling somebody on one-time deal or on an opportunity that you're never going to really back them up in. Mm-hmm. And so that's one big reason why we're here today, is to share this with you. And so what did we just do, Sarah? What did we just do?
We just gave you guys a basic framework. That's what we just gave you guys with the questions we handed you just a minute ago, those 3 questions, and then help giving you a little bit of insight in how you can go a level deeper with who you're targeting, right? When you put that together, you have what we call a basic framework for taking that next step and beginning to market to your audience, right? And there's a lot more information that we have to share with you guys on how you can go deeper with getting in touch with your target audience, which we share that directly with our clients or team members. That's exclusive information because, you know, one thing that we realized is that just giving away all the goods like up front, which is what we were doing in the beginning of our business because we thought that's what you're supposed to do, right? We realized that no one ran with the information. They just took it, put it in their back pocket, and they're like, cool, thanks, that was awesome, really helpful. I'm not going to do squat with it. So thanks for that. And so what we had to do was, you know, we realized that we had to, you know, only give a little bit of information and make the rest of it exclusive. So for those of you who found what we have, you know, given you today valuable, and you want more of a, more of an insight into how you can really hone in on who your audience is, then all you have to do is show us that you're committed to learning this information and that you'd like someone to work with to help you build your business. That's what we're offering you today. We gave you a framework. Now we're giving you an opportunity to work with a team, which would be Brandon and I, right? Who will help you build your business and market it in a way that's going to save you time, in a way that's going to bring in more income, no income guaranteed, right? Because of course that's all dependent on you, right? And your level of dedication and your ability to take action. But we're offering you the opportunity to step into a business that you dream for yourself and to step into a lifestyle that you want for yourself. Now, if that sounds interesting, then you can have access to that opportunity simply by clicking the button. It's actually going to be over on your left.
Right.
Or if you're on Facebook, it's going to be on the bottom. When you click that link, you're going to be able to access a platform that you can market on, which is the same platform we use for our business. Mm-hmm. And you can tailor it to any kind that you have. But more than anything is you get access to information, tools, and resources, as well as our guidance and one-on-one mentorship to help you build your business.
That's right.
Now, to me, that sounds like a win-win.
That's because, a pretty win-win.
You know, here you've got people sitting on, the other side of you telling you that we're here to help you build your business. We're here to help you achieve that lifestyle you want, whether it's more money, more cars, fancy clothes, or maybe you just want to go live on the beaches, right? We'll help you do that. You just have to commit to us the way that we're willing to commit to you.
That's it. And so we hope you found value in today's hangout. Make sure to come back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because we do these 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, and we're here to help you and your business grow to that next level. So if you haven't taken advantage already, I hope you heard what Sarah said. The button is either over here or below you. We will see you on the other side, those of you who take action. And those who don't, we'll see you back here tomorrow. Take care.